Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. My name is Andrea and today I'm gonna show you how to make a classical Taiwanese hamburger called as Gua Bao. So let's get started. For this recipe we're gonna need 1 kg of pork neck, 4 cloves of garlic. Here I have the whole spices. I have 1 cinnamon stick, 1 star anise, 10 cloves, 10 black peppercorns and 1 teaspoon of fennel seeds, 2 tablespoons of honey, 4 tablespoons of soy sauce, 1 tablespoon of rice vinegar and few drops of sesame oil, 2 spring onions cut lengthwise, 2 tablespoons of hoisin sauce, and a pinch of salt. For the buns, we're gonna need 350 grams of all-purpose flour, 200 milliliters of warm water, 3 tablespoons of caster sugar, 1.5 teaspoon of dry yeast, 4 tablespoons of vegetable oil, 1.5 teaspoon of baking powder, and 1/4 of a teaspoon of salt. And for garnishing, we're gonna need a few coriander stalks and 2 tablespoons of peanuts. And for the final sauce, we'll need 1 spring onion chopped, 1 teaspoon of minced garlic, 2 small chilies chopped, and 2 tablespoons of soy sauce. I'm going to start by preparing the marinade. So in a bowl I'm going to add the honey and the hoisin sauce together with the soy sauce and the rice vinegar, and I'm going to mix everything well, and then I'm going to transfer my sauce to the pot in which we're going to bake the pork. For a better result, I would suggest you to marinate the pork overnight, or you can just, cook it right away. Now I'm gonna add my cloves of garlic. I'm just gonna crush them because I want all that flavor to be spread all over the marinade. Now I'm gonna add my whole spices, the spring onions, and we're gonna add some water, about 3 cups, just enough to submerge the pork, a pinch of salt, and now I'm gonna add my pork. Place it carefully in the marinade. And as I said, you can marinate it overnight or you can just cook it right away if you don't have time. Just add enough water to submerge it. So now I'm gonna bake my pork for at least 2 hours to 2.5 hours at 200 degrees Celsius. So in the meantime, we're gonna prepare the buns. So in a bowl, I'm gonna add the yeast together with the caster sugar, and I'm gonna add the lukewarm water, and I'm gonna mix everything well, and I'm gonna let it rest for about 10 minutes or until it's nice and foamy and all bubbly, just like this. So after 10 minutes, I'm gonna add 2 tablespoons of vegetable oil to my yeast mixture. I'm gonna leave it aside, and here I have my all-purpose flour to which I have added the baking powder. I have added the salt now, and I am just going to make a well, and I'm gonna add the yeast mixture, and I'm gonna mix everything well with the spoon until there is no dry flour visible. And now I'm gonna start slowly kneading it with my hands, and I will transfer it to a floured surface. I'm gonna knead the dough for about 10 minutes, and this time if you feel it's too sticky and it's impossible to work with it, you can add 2 or 3 more tablespoons of flour. So it might depend on the quantity of water, the type of flour that you're using. So after 10 minutes it looks like this. You can see that it's pretty neat and soft, and it has some elasticity. I'm just gonna transfer it to a bowl in which I have added 1 tablespoon of vegetable oil, and I'm gonna let it rise for at least 1 hour or until it's doubled in size. I'm just gonna cover it with plastic foil so that it won't form a crust. After 1 hour, you can see that my dough has doubled in size, so now it's the time to form our bao buns. The first step and the most important one is make sure that you remove all the air pockets from the existing dough. If you don't remove the air pockets, then what's gonna happen is your bao buns will deflate after steaming. So we don't want that. We want really fluffy and nice bao buns. So I'm just gonna shape the dough into a rectangle, making sure that I remove all the air. And then I'm just going to use a round cutter, and I'm gonna cut little circles And then I'm just gonna place them on these baking sheet squares that I have cut myself. So I'm just gonna place the circles on the squares. I'm just gonna sprinkle them with a little bit of vegetable oil. You can use a brush or you can use your hands, and just fold it gently. Repeat the steps for the remaining buns. And after you finish this step, we are just going to take our rolling pin and press each other one more time to have that nice shape and to make sure that the sides will stick. After this step, you need to let them rest for 30 more minutes. So in the meantime, I want to show you my pork, which is ready. So after 2 hours and 10 minutes, it looks like this. I'm just gonna cut it. We are not done with the pork yet. You can see that it's pretty tender, but we're going to make it even more delicious because I'm going to reduce the sauce in which it has boiled, and we're going to glaze it. Okay, so now I'm going to steam my bao buns. So I'm just gonna place them carefully in the steamer, and I'm gonna steam them for about 8 to 10 minutes. In the meantime, we're gonna finish the pork. So here I have the marinade that I have reduced until it became nice and sticky. So now I have added the pork to it, and we're gonna cook everything until everything gets reduced and the pork is sticky. So for the final sauce, I'm gonna add the spring onions, the chili, and the minced garlic to the 2 tablespoons of soy sauce. And I'm gonna add a little bit of water. This sauce is a game changer, trust me. So after 5 minutes, you can see that my pork is glazed. So now we are ready to assemble. So I'm gonna show you how fluffy and airy and super soft is my bao bun. So it looks like this. So now we are going to add the glazed pork to it and a little bit of the sauce, which is amazing and full of flavors, and the chopped peanuts. The peanuts, I have baked them in the oven and I just chopped them with a knife, and coriander and chili. This is the final touch. So that's it, guys. Thank you very much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed this video, and I really hope you're gonna try this recipe as well. See you next time with another episode and with another country. Bye bye.